Hey, everybody, welcome to the Trusted Podcast. We're going to talk about what you may not know. Actually, I think it's kind of like a secret because I don't know anything about it. It's called the Donor Advisory Fund.
Yeah.
And Fader here has over 35 plus years of financial advising experience. So before we dive into what the Donor Advisory Fund is, though, Fader, you have like a book coming out soon.
Father's Day.
And what's the book?
That's the 1,000 courses. I'm super
Which,
excited about it.
what does that mean? 1,000 what courses?
It's a
All
1,000
right.
golf courses, but I use the golf course to meet my world family. So
Mm,
it's golf and life is golf. And those who are really, really in the golfing world, they know that. They know how much life is found in the golf world and how much golf is found in life. And so each chapter is like the third chapter. It's super fun. It's called Adventure. And that's one of
mm,
the things that I think men and women need in their lives is more adventure. And so it really helped captivate my adventure enthusiasm, and my wife and I helped us to travel to, nearly 80 countries and still going.
wow.
And so each one of us has a thing like the 1,000 courses, at least one. You don't want to have too many, maybe two,
Yeah.
because a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of energy. But a lot of people are just sitting dormant. And so it goes through, like, the chapter on adventure is just people and experiences about adventurous, opportunities that they shared with me. It's thrilling. And then it'll have a highlight about how it fits into life, how adventure fits into life. And then I'll give you there's 18 chapters, of course, 18 holes, and five adventurous golf courses that people will say, oh man, that's an adventure. And I tell you about the adventure that I had on them and then how they may seek that golf course out. So super
That's
excited, and
awesome.
great Father's Day gift and Mother's Day gift too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stories about ladies and couples and young kids, etc. So I'm super excited.
That's amazing. I mean, to play 1,000 courses over the world, 6 continents, how many countries? Like,
Yeah, again, it's over.
we don't
My
even,
goal is to get over 50 states and over 50 countries, and we're over that.
yeah.
And then, yeah, 1,082 as of last week.
Yeah. That's
Super
amazing.
fun. Super
Well,
fun.
let's talk about the Donor Advisory Fund. Maybe you
Mhm.
can kind of give a high-level view of, okay, what is this, and then how do you apply it as a way to support you in your finances?
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, I think it's one of the five most creative financial tools, and I recommend everybody has one. They're really simple to set up. They don't cost anything. They do have an annual fee of like a 0.5% that you pay, but pretty much like all the brokerage out, all like Schwab and Robinhood, etc. You can check theirs out. I use Schwab. It's simple. It's really easy, but it's a charitable giving vehicle that allows individuals to, contribute. You can put cash in there. Say you have a stock that you buy at $5 and it goes up to $10, and you don't want to take that capital gain. You just
Mm.
gift it to the DAF, and then you avoid the $5 appreciation or other assets. And so you receive an immediate tax deduction. So it's just like, say you write out a check and you give it to the charity. You're going to get a
Okay.
tax deduction for that, right? Well, if you decide to put $5,000 into the DAF fund, you're also going to get immediate tax deduction, just if it's a check. Say that stock went from, you had 5,000, then it went to 10,000. You put that $10,000 in, you're going to get a $10,000 deduction, avoid the capital gain. And then you recommend grants to charities to your own choice. And so it's like a charitable investment account where the funds are held by a sponsoring organization like Schwab, grows tax free. So let's pretend you put $10,000 in there and you invest that money and the stock market goes up 10%. Then, or it's more of a mutual fund because it's a culmination of a lot of different stocks. It's not
Hmm.
an individual stock that you're buying. You can't buy individual stocks inside of a donor advisor fund because they're a little too risky, but
Yeah.
it grows tax free, and then the donor retains the advisory privileges over the grant recommendation. So you get to decide. So let's pretend your trust fund is Tyson Bradley Family Donor Advisor Fund, DAF.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to make a $1,000 contribution towards the fill in the blank. You just hop
Yeah.
online, Go online and you fill out everything and hit the button and off it goes. You can even do it anonymously, which is really cool. So the donor receives an immediate tax deduction for the contribution. Whoever you use invests the funds, and they usually give you about 10 to 15 different funds to choose from very, very conservative to quite aggressive. And then
Okay.
the donor retains the advisory privileges and can recommend grants to the charity as of his choice. It grows tax free. I had a client reach out to me recently, and he's had it for over 20 years. And he said, Fader, the amount of money that I've contributed to this thing over the years, last year it had such a good year that it made all the money for my tithing contribution. And
Oh, wow.
I can speak of that as well. It has done amazing things for me. Once pretending that you had $100,000 in there and the stock market went up 20%, that's $20,000 gain right there.
Yeah.
And say you made $200,000 and you pay 10% tithe, you can just write a check, send it off to the church or any organization that you feel, and it covers your tithing liability. So, or shouldn't call it a liability, your tithing obligation,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
tithing grant. The flexibility is that you can contribute as much as you want, and you can just contribute over time, allowing them to, you support different causes. And as you know, at Trusted Coaching, I teach everybody to have at least 5 charities that they give to. It's one of the fun
Mm.
things that we teach. And so it takes them a little time, but eventually they will reach 5 different charities that they're involved in. And so Heidi and I have a minimum of 5 that we do. And so each year or each month or whenever we're in the mood, it's very convenient because the sponsoring organization handles all the administrative tax tasks of everything you can
Mm.
think of. So DAFs can be used to support, all your charitable goals, all your funding, a scholarship program, or supporting a local charity, or so many different ways, avoidance of the capital gains. That makes a really good and a simple system. So final
Yeah.
example, in keeping this short, as we do our best to do, is an individual who wants to support a variety of charities, right? Can contribute cash, stock, sometimes even real estate, sometimes, but you have to combine that kind of with a trust. That's a different thing.
Mm.
But you receive the immediate tax deduction. You can recommend grants to your choice, local food banks, universities they attend, any religious organization that's set up as a C. That's the key. You can't
Yeah.
send a check to grandma's cookies down the street. So, in
Yeah.
essence, the DIF is a way to give to a charity that combines tax benefits, flexibility, and the ability to support multiple causes over time.
Okay.
So,
So
absolutely love it.
if I was to, okay, summarize this, and you can confirm this with me. Best use case is for anyone out there that wants to have, like, donate money to a 501c3 organization, be it a church, be it some other organization that does great things. It would be so much more advantageous to have a donor advisory fund to donate that money versus just out of your own pocket,
Hmm.
because the donor advisory fund is its own like trust that can be invested and grow, and then you don't get taxed on that growth. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, wow.
Yeah.
But like here was a cool one. So Heidi and I, we do 2 tours every year where we go back and see the Grandies in, Tennessee and Philadelphia and Utah and wherever Brad and Maddie are, and they're roving around in their beautiful van and see friends, etc. I'm in the local area of Myrtle Beach and I
Okay.
want to go get an ice cream. So I run over to the Ben and Jerry store and grab an ice cream. As I go in there's this booth set up and there's these balloons all up. And I'm like, what's going on? She goes, oh, well, we're the chapter of, we have a company called this, and this is the name of our company and our charitable organization. And we support over 100 women who have been through sexual abusive cases and all sorts of
Mm.
children that have also gone through that. And that's a soft spot for most of us. And she said, here's an envelope. Would you like to make a or she had a big jar there. You put, I could see dollars in there and stuff like that. And I said, tell you what, just give me your card and give me your address of the organization. And she gave me the card and the organization. And I said, and I'll just go home and get on my computer and send some money your way. So I didn't have to do it
Mhm.
right there in front of everybody. It's very
Right.
private. It's very good.
Yeah.
And for those people who are LDS, like it's so much better than it used to be. It's so
Mhm.
much better than it used to be. And that is, you go in, you sit down, you have tithing settlement, et cetera, et cetera. But there used to be like 4 or 5 guys, ward clerks and all those guys helping with tithing settlement, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't really want anyone to know how much I pay in my tithes and offerings.
Sure.
They're trying to be blah, 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 blah. But unfortunately, I've had a few stories with that and people who've experienced that. And,
Mhm.
your next door neighbor's one of those ward clerks and he sees how much money you make in tithe, you're paying in tithe. And I just don't, for me, I don't want anybody to know anything about how much I make or how much I tithe or how much I give to charities. And this avoids all of that. So that was the
Yeah.
selling pitch for me, not to
Yeah.
mention all the beauty behind it. So if you've got any more questions about it and you want to
Yeah.
talk about it more, they can just go to trustedcoaching.com, link in right there and chat with me or just send me a message and I'll be happy to send them to the right place.
Right.
So I think we nailed
Or
that.
get a total financial review. You can sign up and just have a one-off with Fader, and he can totally
Hmm.
overhaul your life.
Well, if you're not sitting down with your financial advisor once a year to go over your expenses, stop it. Stop behaving like a 2-year-old. At least once a year, sit down with your advisor, with your spouse, and go through your financials. But more importantly, there'll be many who are listening to this who will not have ever heard of it, like yourself when we sat down and
Right.
talked about it. It's
Right.
such a beautiful tool. And as I mentioned, this is one of my 5 favorites. But my very favorite, I don't know that I'll ever do a podcast on it. It'd take too long. But it has to do with your retirement. So sitting with your advisor, they've got ideas, they've got some things to do. And as you say, a one-off, I'm more than happy to do a one-off. Rather have you be 12 off. So
Yeah. Yeah.
doing one a month like most of my snipers do, or in the group coaching program, but that's for you to choose. Thanks a lot, you guys, for your time, and as always, you can trust it.